Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to talk to you about growing up. Sorry, I had a problem with that. Anyways, your thinking changes when you're older. When you're young, you tend to look up to your parents. Whatever they do, you follow. You learn the habits that your parents have. You become accustomed to their lifestyle. Take myself for instance. Ever since I was young, my parents had a habit of cleaning up after themselves in fast food restaurants such as McDonald's and Hungry Jack's. They never just left the tray and rubbish hanging around. I've become accustomed to do that, so now I also clean up after myself. Am I reading too fast? Parents have a lot of responsibility, especially when their children are very young, because at their age they don't decide what's right or what's wrong, they just follow. Whereas if the child is older, he or she can use common sense to justify whether or not it's the right thing to do. We live in the 21st century, and I'm more than confident that a 10-year-old now has the equivalent knowledge of that of a 15-year-old from the 20th century. We're now being taught things at a much earlier stage of life. Sometimes I find it ridiculous on how much children know these days. As I walk down the streets, I sometimes see kids, no more than 12 years old, swearing and discussing the most disturbing topics. I relate this all back to their education. Many parents believe that the school is all for their children's education, so they don't bother educating their children too much. That is wrong. I go to school and I see numerous classmates ignore the teachers and just muck around as if school was like a play area. And when they get bad grades, they just blame their teacher for being too uptight and strict. I know what it's like to be one of these people, because only about 2 to 3 years ago, I was one of them. And trust me, that time I didn't give up about homework. Beep, little beep there. Through my experience, the best way to educate a child is to start when they are very young and build up their self-drive. That way, when they grow up, they've already gotten into the habit of learning enthusiastically and controlling their time. I'm still practicing on my self-drive, since I haven't really gotten into the habit of it. But I don't blame my parents for not teaching me correctly when I was young, because technically it was also my own responsibility, and it's my life. We have responsibility over our own actions and lives, whether or not the law states so.
Thank you much for your time. ありがとうございます。I tell you Japanese, 日本語。